and welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. On today's episode, we're gonna continue with day 11, and we're gonna continue with the cross-examination of Darrell Brooks with Detective Casey. So, we're gonna go straight at it. Just gonna say before, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for giving a like to the video. It really helps a lot. And hopefully you guys like the thumbnail. I think it was appropriate for this day. Alright, let's get right into it.
All right, thank you. Have any other questions, sir?
In the two exhibits we just watched, 13 and 14, do you see anyone driving the vehicle?
No, I do not.
So,
Do you know if anyone's in the vehicle at the time that you see it pull away?
I would assume, based on my training experience, that when the vehicle pulled away, that there was someone inside the vehicle, because in order to move a vehicle, you have to manipulate the controls, the shifter, the brake, the accelerator. So my assumption is that someone is inside the vehicle doing that.
yeah.
That wasn't the question. Do you see anyone in the vehicle?
I object, Your Honor. That was the question, and he's already asked and answered. The question is, anyone can be seen.
The objections, I'm not sure what the objection was, but the answer may stand. You can ask your next question.
All right.
Let's go back to exhibit 175. Can you pull that up for the witness?
Please. It's not hard.
The
You just
state,
gotta
please
say
pull
please.
it up.
Come on.
Witness only or published?
Publish.
Okay, thank you. All right,
just-
go ahead. It's in the jury
You
file.
just testified that this was the alleged defendant. How do you know that? Can you see a face?
All right. So you guys remember back in another episode, I said that Darrell doesn't know the meaning of opening the door. Like sometimes he will ask stuff to witnesses and open the door himself, and then the witness will answer, and then he will be like, "Why is he saying that?" He's doing that right now. And like I said in the episode before, he doesn't open the door. He is the Kool-Aid man destroying the wall and let everyone come in.
Which question are you asking? Those were two.
Can you see the face on the circled individual in that exhibit?
In this clip, I cannot see the face of the person that is circled.
So how do you know who it is?
I can tell who that is because I have watched this video in its entirety, and I can tell that it is you based on all of my contacts with you.
Yeah.
So why were there not any other exhibits that can give credibility to you positively identifying the individual in this video?
Objection, argumentative,
Grounds.
compound.
Sustained.
Is it fair to say that this is the only exhibit photo from the video?
He's trying really hard to not allow this picture to be admitted or something like that. I mean, the jury already seen this picture. They already know that they saw the other pictures of you driving that car with that same plate. It doesn't matter now if you like exclude it.
Go
Can
ahead.
you clarify the only one that is shown today, or the only one that has ever been taken?
The only one that's
ever
the only
exists?
one that's
Could you clarify,
being
please?
shown right here today. Is this the only one that is an exhibit being shown here today?
Yes, this is the only one that we've shown today.
Yeah.
And you can tell just from this exhibit exactly who that individual is.
I don't believe that was my testimony.
I'm asking the question.
From just looking at this, no, but I know from looking at the entire video that it's you.
Yeah, he tried to do this as well with the father of one of the kids that got hit. Like he tried to say that do you see his face? It's like, no, but I know that was him. I was there.
We're talking about this exhibit that's being shown right now during your testimony right now at this moment? Strictly that.
Could you ask your question, please?
I'm going to object, asked and answered.
Sustained as to the form of the question as well.
Do you recall what date you viewed this video, as you call it?
As you call it, it's a video.
I have viewed this video multiple times. I don't recall the specific dates that I've seen it.
Was it relatively early on in the investigation?
There have been multiple times that I've watched this video. Some of them early, some of them as late as yesterday.
Do you recall seeing this video the same night of the incident or in the days following?
I did not see it the night of, but it would be the days following that I have seen it.
And at that time, did you have knowledge of who that vehicle belonged to?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And did you have knowledge of the usage of that video? The usage of that vehicle?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Did you have knowledge of who may have been using the vehicle?
Yes.
Objection vague as to time.
He saw
Sustained
you.
as to the form of the question. If you could
He saw you
limit,
driving.
perhaps direct him to a specific time frame regarding the use of the vehicle.
At the time of the incident?
Yes.
And what? And can you clear that?
Please.
And what information was that?
The information that I had is at the night of the incident that you, Darrell Brooks, were the person that were operating the vehicle.
And who did you learn that from? And for the record, I don't consent to that name.
Noted,
For the record.
overruled. Go ahead and answer.
Can you repeat your question, please?
I'm gonna go another route on this.
You done
He
with
saw
the
that wasn't
exhibits, sir?
working.
No, I'm not.
So you're withdrawing your question?
Yeah, I'm going another route.
All right, thank you.
You just testified to seeing the entire video that this steel frame exhibit came from, correct?
I testified that this came from the entire video, correct?
You said that you viewed the video in its entirety, correct?
The entirety what we recovered from your social media account. I'm not sure if there is a longer version someplace, but
Did you see the video in its entirety? The video that this exhibit came from?
yes.
Now I'm imagining the Detective Casey having that video on his like Spotify playlist. He's just vibing out to it. That I never seen it. I mean, I've seen it because they show it here, but I never listened to the lyrics. So, yeah.
And are these the only two individuals that you observed in that video?
They are the only two that I recall seeing in the video.
Did you ever inquire about the identity of this individual?
No, I have not.
Can
Is he
you clear
Marcus?
that circle?
Is he the famous Marcus with his tan Kia? Why didn't they show the Kia on the video? That's a nice car.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Would it be fair to say that from looking strictly at the exhibit that we're viewing right now, that both individuals have the same hairstyle?
Sure.
It would be fair to say.
Can we clear the X's?
Please.
We go back to Exhibit 13. Published.
What was the point of the hairstyle question? He's saying like both individuals are the same guy? Is that the question?
Go ahead.
Can you play it? Well, just play it. I'll tell you when to pause if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Pause. right there, the individual that you observe, right here. Do you see them wearing a hoodie?
The person in that photo is not wearing a hoodie.
Do you see a hoodie anywhere present in this video?
No, I don't see a video or a hoodie anywhere in the video.
Can you take the X down? From this angle, it'd be fair to say that you can see the very front end of a vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
Can you see any windows or see inside the vehicle at that time? Or at the time that we're looking at right now?
You cannot see inside the vehicle at this time.
So it would be fair to say that just by looking at what we're looking at now, you wouldn't know if anyone's already inside the vehicle.
This has been asked and answered, Your Honor.
I'll allow it, the witness to answer.
This is a whole different.
I'm allowing it. Go ahead.
That is correct. From this video, you cannot tell if anyone else is inside the vehicle.
So it'd be fair to say that you're not sure.
It's fair to say that I am not sure.
Can we pull this down?
Okay, so
Whoa, wait. I'm sorry. Can you pull that back up for 1 second?
Same exhibit.
Same
Go
exhibit,
ahead.
13.
All right.
the thing is, this is all worthless because Erica already testified that no one else was in the vehicle after she got down. So it doesn't matter if someone else was in the car at that point. It pretty much could have been, but after that, when this happened, no one else was. So this is all pointless.
Do you see an address posted anywhere on this house?
In the photo that you circled, no.
So it'd be fair to say that you don't know the address of this house.
That is incorrect.
You just said that you don't see an address posted anywhere in this house. So from the vehicle, strike that, not the vehicle. I'm still looking in the corner right here. From the video that we're viewing right now, do you see an address posted anywhere on this house?
I do not see an address posted in this photo.
So judging by this, well, actually it's a video, but judging by this video, how can you know the address of this house?
Because I've been at this house before to talk with your mother. I've seen the address on the front of the house.
Judging by this video.
Hold on. You have to let him finish because that was not the question you asked. You asked him how he knew. He can answer. Go ahead, Detective Casey.
I have been at this address before. I have spoken to your mother. I have been in the backyard of the residence. I've seen the address on the front of the house. I know this to be your mother's house. I recognize from this photo to be your mother's address at 4014 North 19th Street.
You recognize the house or the address? Because we don't see an address in this video.
I recognize this house to be that address from being there.
And had you already been there, as you say, and talked to people, as you say, before you viewed this video?
Again, I hate this line of questioning. It's like, my house doesn't have an address at the front, but I still know where it is, and I can recognize it, and I know the address, but it doesn't, just because it doesn't have it printed on the front doesn't mean that I don't know it.
I believe that I saw the video first, and then I was at the address.
So at the time that you saw this video, you didn't know whose house that was?
That would be an incorrect statement.
You just said that you saw the video first before going to the house. Did you, or did you not say that? Would that be fair to say?
I guess I'm a little confused in your question. We received the video. We know from getting it from my mother that she said that that is where she lives. So I knew that this was where she lives when I watched the video.
You made reference to a key being found. Did you yourself find that key?
No, I did not.
Were you at the scene where the key was found at the time it was found?
No, I was not.
So it'd be fair to say that you were told that a key was found.
Yes, I was told that a key was found.
So it'd be fair to say that you went off of what you were told. You actually didn't observe this with your own eyes.
What are you speaking of?
The key.
All right, I just wanted to point this out. And this has been going on the whole trial. But the way that he asks questions is in the... there's a philosophy current. I can think of the name. I cannot think of the name in English. It's from René Descartes. It's the guy that says, think, therefore I am. If you guys know what's the actual name in English, that's put in the comments. I don't know. But he thinks that just because you don't see something, that it doesn't exist. Like, if you don't see the Eiffel Tower with your own eyes, that means the Eiffel Tower doesn't exist. Because eyes can lie. You can Photoshop anything. But that's not how it works. I get it. That's something that people used to think like 300 years ago. But that's not how it works.
Being found.
That's correct. I was told by two officers who I've worked with for a long time, and I trust what they tell me to be accurate.
And you stated that you had spoken with the mothers of the alleged defendants' children. That be fair to say?
I believe I said I spoke with the mother of 3 of your children.
At that time, was the alleged defendant already in custody?
Yes, he was.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just use the fingerprints that were already obtained?
Like I said before, the fingerprints was one way. We also verified it talking to his family members that his identity.
Any reason why, or let me back up. Is it fair to say that there was more confirmation needed to identify the alleged defendant at that point, seeing as how the fingerprints were already obtained?
We were just being thorough. We were certain that it was Darrell Brooks that we had in custody based on his fingerprints and other information that we had. It was just a matter of being thorough and verifying the person that we had and the name that he goes by.
Yeah, you keep saying that you don't recognize that name. So they had to be sure that they had the right guy.
It'd be fair to say fingerprints are pretty accurate, though, correct? Would that be fair to say?
I think that would be fair to say.
So it would also be fair to say that there wouldn't be any reason why the alleged defendant that was in custody would be someone else.
Again, he's destroying his own "I don't consent to being called that name" charade that he has. He's working against him. He's saying, okay, you got the fingerprints. You know that's Darrell Brooks, right? And they're like, yeah, we know.
Would that be fair to say?
Objection,
What?
that's compound and difficult to follow.
It's not compound. It's
Sustained
not
as to the
difficult
form
follow.
of the question, sir. Please
That was
rephrase.
very clear.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
And where did the interviewing of the mothers of these children take place, if you recall?
I spoke to Jessica Macklin in Iowa at her residence. I spoke to Angel Fitzpatrick at her residence in Menominee Falls.
Whoa. Can we strike that? Why do the names have to...
Because you asked the question. If you ask an open question, they can say whatever they want.
be stated?
Overruled. He was answering the question. His answer may stand. Your request to strike is denied, and the witness may continue answering.
I spoke to Angel Fitzpatrick in Menominee Falls at her residence, and I spoke to Erica Patterson a number of times at various locations about you.
Who's you?
You said one of the mothers of these children you spoke to in Iowa.
Correct.
Why would you go all the way to Iowa?
Because initially you listed her as a witness on your witness list for court. So we went there and we wanted to verify what information she might have that she would testify to.
Just for the record, I don't recall listing anyone as a witness, just for the record.
For the record, Mr. Brooks, you can't testify at this
know
moment.
that.
You'll have an opportunity should you choose.
I just wanted that clear for the record since what was
Can't be,
said.
it's struck from the record at this
I-
point because you're attempting to testify.
not
The jury will
attempting to
disregard
testify.
that.
You are attempting to testify. You're saying stuff that you don't need to say. It's commentary. You can only ask questions. I don't see how that is so hard to understand.
I just wanted the record to show
The
that
jury
I had no
will
knowledge of doing that. And if
The jury will disregard those statements made by the defendant
If
as
something's-
that he is not testifying, and it would be improper at this time for the court to receive them.
I don't think a
Go-
record should be
next
made of
question, sir.
something that I didn't do.
Next question, sir.
It's ridiculous. So you said you went to Iowa to try to find out what would be testified to. Why?
Objection,
just said
argumentative,
Grounds.
irrelevant, and calls for hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustained as to all basis. Next question.
You said why you went to Iowa.
Was that an attempt to prepare for what might have been said?
I'll allow that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see. Every time that he talks like about preparation, he thinks that people don't need to be prepared for anything because that's cheating. And that's not how it works. Just because you don't want to do any preparation because you're lazy and you don't care, that doesn't mean the rest of the people are like that.
Why would there be preparation involved in someone who might testify on an alleged defendant's behalf?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
We went there to speak with her, so if she came and testified, there wouldn't be any surprises. We also wanted to find out if there's any background information that she had about Mr. Brooks that would be helpful in our investigation.
Yeah.
So you made reference to not being any surprises. Would it be fair to say that there was a little worry there?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
No?
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Worry about what?
What surprises were you referring to? What do you mean by surprises? No surprises.
Your Honor, I object to this entire line of questioning. This witness is not expected to testify. It's wholly irrelevant.
Well, he opened the door by putting the name on the record and saying where he went.
You have no idea what opening the door means, my guy.
I will allow one more question on this. Go ahead, you may answer.
Could you re-ask the question, please?
He doesn't remember.
What do you mean by making sure that there were no surprises?
We wanted to make sure that there wasn't any information that we weren't aware of that may come up later that would be helpful in the trial.
Yeah, there's a saying that lawyers do. That's you never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. That's something like that. So they wanted to be prepared. That's it.
Do you recall making an attempt to interview the child
What?
Objection, relevance.
who was 7 at the time?
Sustained as to... Next question, please.
Reason for the sustain, Your Honor?
It's not
Not
relevant
relevant.
at all.
Well, the question was asked, does he recall?
It's not
Sustained.
relevant.
Next question, please.
Grounds for the sustain again?
Relevant.
It doesn't have to do with anything.
How's it not relevant?
Keep going, sir.
Did you interview the child?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain?
Relevant.
Why would you ask to interview the child?
Your Honor, objection. This
Sustained.
entire line of questioning is inappropriate.
Sustained. Move on.
I would
Mr. Brooks.
object that trying to interview a 7-year-old child is.
Sir, move on, please. 90611. It's also not relevant.
How is interviewing a child, even I don't even know if it's proper or improper. Even if it's improper, how does that help your case?
Relevant. Since
Very
that's not
relevant.
an evidence.
No.
Tricky move. You made reference to, in regards to Exhibit 88 and 89, which were documents from an entirely different county. Do you work for Milwaukee County?
No, I do not.
So how did Milwaukee County, which is a different county, come into your investigation in Waukesha County?
There is a computer system that displays what cases or charges are open for a person, and it is relevant because if you are charged in one county and you violate conditions of bail, you can also be charged in another county for those violations.
And in reference to having charges in one county and potentially being charged in another county, in reference to that, wouldn't you essentially have to violate the conditions in one county and strictly be charged in that county?
That is an inaccurate statement.
No. That's not how it works.
You being in law enforcement for a very long time, it would be fair to say that you're familiar with the term double jeopardy, right?
Right.
I have heard the term before.
And what is your understanding of what that term means?
Objection, irrelevant, beyond the
Grounds.
scope of the witness's knowledge, legal conclusion.
Sustained for all those reasons.
And just so you know, he doesn't know what double jeopardy means. Like, he thinks he knows, but he doesn't. Double jeopardy means that you cannot be charged, no, you cannot be convicted twice of the same charge. So, he thinks that you cannot be charged twice from the same thing. It's way different. It doesn't mean what he thinks he means. Shout out to all my Princess Bride enjoyers.
And whom were you made lead investigator by?
The command staff or Lieutenant Jerry Habanik.
Do you recall why you were tapped to be the lead investigator?
Because I was the most qualified person and had the most experience to take care of it. That's what I've been told.
Any other reasons besides that?
Also because I was at the parade route a little bit earlier and I had the most information out of anyone. It took a little while for the other staff to come in, so I already had a little bit of a head start with the information that I already had learned as being there at the beginning.
And that would be the information that you said you had more knowledge of than anyone else at that time.
Yeah.
Would that be in reference to having an interaction with the vehicle at some point?
I would say as the totality of the situation, I was there when the car first went through. I know what the radio traffic was for taking Mr. Brooks into custody. There's also some decisions that were made early on how to proceed with the case.
When you referenced, you were there at the beginning when the vehicle first entered in the parade. What do you recall about when the vehicle first entered the parade?
I remember a horn beeping, red Ford Escape driving around, and then you driving into me and not stopping when I pounded on your hood and window.
driving into you, what do you mean?
I meant that I was in front of your
What do you mean driving into you? What do you think it means, my guy?
vehicle. Your vehicle contacted me, pushed me off to the side, and continued driving without stopping.
Were you injured in this incident?
I was not injured, thankfully.
And you made reference to a horn beeping. What do you mean a horn beeping?
I mean,
You
a
mean
horn.
the vehicle was beeping its horn?
Yes, the vehicle was beeping its horn.
What would be the only time a vehicle would beep their horn?
Only
Objection,
time.
speculation.
Grounds.
Sustained. Calls for
Reason.
speculation.
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping their horn?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Do you know why you would beep
He
your
asked,
horn?
do you know why? So he can answer that question.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do you know why the vehicle was beeping its horn?
I imagine that the driver was angry and wanted to get through the crowd.
And how did you come to that determination?
I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times people get angry, they're late, they beat their horn at you in a way that is because they're upset and they're trying to get past you.
Do you know that for sure?
You asked me my opinion.
Yes, I did ask your opinion. Now I'm asking you, do you know for sure if the driver of the vehicle you observed was in fact angry?
I assume that he was.
So it would be fair to say you don't know for sure.
I do not know for sure, but that is my opinion, is that he was angry.
And at that time, you had no knowledge who the driver was. Would that be fair to say?
Well, I had knowledge because I saw your face. I did not know your name
Did
at
you
that
know
time.
who the driver was? No, meaning had you had any prior interactions with them before this incident? That's what I mean by no. Have you had any conversations with him, talked to him?
Hold
saw
on.
him?
Compound question. Ask one.
I was just giving clarification of no,
You
what I
need
meant
to,
by
it's
no.
a compound question. Please rephrase.
Before you observed this vehicle, as you say, and this driver that, as you say, did you know them?
I have no memory of meeting Mr. Brooks before that afternoon.
So it'd be fair to say that you're assuming something that you don't know. Would that be fair to say?
Objection, compound, vague, and argumentative.
Yeah,
Sustained.
Grounds.
he asked for an
Sustained
opinion.
is to the form of the question.
I don't see.
How would you know how someone's feeling if you don't know who they are?
Your Honor, he opened the door to this. It's asked and answered. The witness has given his opinion. It's clear.
Grounds.
I
Yeah.
object. Improper question.
Grounds.
I will allow the witness to answer why he came to that conclusion. Go ahead.
Like I said before, I've been driving a long time, and a lot of times when people are beeping their horns, it's because they're late, they're angry at something happened.
The ring video obtained in Exhibits 13 and 14. You made reference to obtaining that the same night of the incident. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, I recall saying that.
And I'm referring to, again, so clear for the record, Exhibits 13 and 14, ring footage that was obtained by the owner of 4014 North 19th Street that you testified to obtaining the ring footage the same night. Were you aware that, well, let me back up just a little bit. How were you able to obtain that ring footage?
There was officers that went to Freighter Hospital where Dawn Woods, Mr. Brooks' mother, was working. They spoke to her, and she's the one that alerted to them that she had ring video at the house and offered to remotely download that video for them.
And were you there?
Oh, his mom sold him out. Ugh. He's asking about. I don't know why he's asking about it.
Yourself?
I was not there myself.
When did you yourself speak to the owner of that home?
The last time that I spoke to Dawn Woods was on August 8th of this year. I may have spoken to her a few times before that. I don't recall the exact dates.
I'm referring to the first time that you spoke.
I don't recall
Very first time.
I don't recall the first date when that was.
And you did just make reference to an August 8th date. And what was the extent of that conversation?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Grounds?
Sustained. Hearsay.
The August 8th date that you referred to, was that in any way follow-up?
What?
Was that follow-up investigation?
Follow up to what?
Well, you stated that you had spoken previously before the August 8th date. So the question is, was the August 8th date follow-up to the investigation that you were already actively lead of?
I mean, everything is related to this investigation. The investigation continues every day. It's not end. It will not end until this trial is over.
So what follow-up was needed at the time of the August 8th interview? I'm guessing that's what you would call it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Objection still calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Why did you need to talk to Miss Woods multiple times?
Because every time we spoke to her, we got different information, and at that time we were following up with your niece and nephew of what their testimony would be in this case.
What testimony are you referring to? Because I don't recall any nieces or nephews testifying.
I don't think I'm allowed to say it.
I think this line of questioning is irrelevant, Your Honor.
And he tried to open another door over there.
I'll sustain the objection, and at an appropriate break I can address it further.
You made reference to people who were injured at the parade inadvertently. You recall that?
Yes, I do.
Were any of those charged?
What?
My testimony before is that those people's cases were not charged.
Right.
And were they seen as victims?
I'm going to object to the form of that question. I think it calls for a legal conclusion, Your Honor.
Why is he trying to add more victims to his tally? Why? Why in front of the jury? Why? That's
It's not. I asked to his knowledge.
I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question, if you could please rephrase.
I'm gonna go a different route.
right.
Do you recall serving a warrant to the Waukesha County Jail on July 1st of 2022?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall what that was for?
Yes, I do.
And what was that for? Can you state for the record and for the jury?
It's for Mr. Brooks's jail cell.
And why did you serve a warrant for a jail cell?
Your Honor, I object pursuant to legal rulings previously issued in this case. I don't think this is relevant.
I'll sustain the objection. It's not relevant. I'll certainly take it up at a later point if need be.
What was the warrant pursuant to?
It doesn't matter.
I sustain the objection. Next topic, please.
He did answer.
I sustain the state's objection and directing him not to answer. We'll take it up separately. I'll have you continue with your cross-examine. I'll take it up later.
Not happy. Even though that doesn't matter.
You made reference to this vehicle driving into you, but stated you were not injured. Did you file a claim in this matter?
Oh.
No, I did not.
Why would he?
Do you consider yourself an injured party in this matter?
Alright, he's out of questions.
No, I do not.
Do you yourself know if anyone filed a claim in this matter?
Can you be more specific?
Do you yourself know if anyone filed a claim in this matter?
Just in general?
Whatever your interpretation of that will be.
I would say yes.
There you go.
What that claim was?
I would imagine that there was a lot of injuries from the people. A lot of people had very extensive medical bills. I imagine that they would file a claim with their insurance company to have those bills paid.
So you had knowledge of what was filed to their particular insurance companies?
I have no knowledge, but my assumption is that they would have filed those bills.
So it would be fair to say you don't know for sure.
That was my testimony.
There you go.
Is that the answer?
Yes.
As lead investigator for this matter, are you, to your knowledge, aware of any GoFundMe type of things?
Objection relevant? I'm sorry.
Do you mean as it relates to?
As it relates to the incident.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
How is that relevant?
I have no direct knowledge, but I assume that there are some GoFundMe pages out there. It's typical in something like this.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by typical? You've seen this before? Is that what you mean by typical?
We have a very loving and caring community where a lot of times when bad things happen to people, people pull together and offer financial assistance to help people.
Is it fair to say that there's a lot of communities like that across Wisconsin?
Sure. They're nice people. What?
Yes, I think there are.
And it would be fair to say that you've worked extremely close with the district attorney's office during the entirety of this matter. Would that be fair to say?
The district attorney's office has been involved in this investigation since the night of, so we have worked closely.
So would it be fair to say extremely close, seeing as how you've been present for the whole trial pretty much?
Can you define extremely for me?
I would like you to define it. Extremely.
Why? You are the one asking the question. Why would he need to define anything? He's confused.
I'll answer yes if that helps.
There you go. So?
To your knowledge, do you know if it's typical for a lead investigator to sit right behind the prosecution table at a trial?
Yes, it's very typical. It happens in most larger cases, especially a case of this magnitude. There would be a court officer. So yes, that's a very typical thing that happens.
Yeah.
Have you ever done this before?
I've done this multiple times before.
You're not special, Brooks.
And are you the only detective in the investigation that has that honor?
Objection vague?
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Are you the only detective directly involved in an investigation that sits with the prosecution?
Talking about this case or any case?
This particular
or-
case.
I'm sorry, you interrupted me. Could you repeat that, please?
I believe he said this case.
I'm referring to this case, yes.
Could you re-ask the question, please?
Nice.
Are you the only detective actively involved in this investigation that sits with the prosecution
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
reference to this case?
Yes, I'm the only person, the only detective that's sitting with the prosecution during this trial.
Yeah. So,
So would you explain who the other officer is in the blue suit over there?
Objection to the
he's not a. He's talking about this guy. He's not a detective. He's a PI. So checkmate.
relevance, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Sustained.
I just want to know his role.
Sustained. Next
Reason
question,
for the
please.
sustain.
Doesn't
Not
matter.
relevant.
He's been in the courtroom the whole trial. How is it not relevant?
Who cares?
Mr. Brooks, next question, please.
Nobody knows who he is.
No, only you don't know who he is. You are the only person that doesn't know who he is. I know who he is.
That should be known. Nobody should
It's
have
not
that back
relevant
tape.
to
I
the
don't even
issues
have a
that
back
the
tape.
jury needs to determine.
No one would
Next
wanna see.
question, sir.
Is it action? We're telling.
What? What?
I'm assuming that's asking. You know what the other one would entail.
What would the other one entail? She can tell you to do what she wants. She should. But what would entail? Are you gonna hit her? Is that what you say to? This is him coming out, and this is the jury hearing him say this. And I'm sure that this is what they told all his partners. Like, why would you say that? What will
Do you have a
entail?
question, sir?
Yeah, I do. I would like to get to it. Thank you.
Ask it.
Please do so. Thank you.
I will. So seeing as how you sat with the prosecution for the entirety of this matter, it would be fair to assume that you know who the plaintiff is in this matter.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And who would the plaintiff be in this matter?
The state of Wisconsin.
Is that an entity or a living human being?
It's an entity.
How can an entity file a claim?
Objection,
Grounds.
legal conclusion.
Grounds.
Sustained.
You are aware that only a living, breathing human being can actually file a claim. An entity cannot walk into anywhere and file a claim if it's not even a real
That's
person.
testimony.
Objection,
You
move
are
to
aware of
strike.
that, right?
Go ahead, Attorney Apper.
Move to strike the statements by Mr. Brooks. Also object to the question that was asked at the end as irrelevant, argumentative, and calling for a legal conclusion.
Objection is not calling for
The-
a legal conclusion in any way.
The court sustains the objection. The request to strike the statements made by Mr. Brooks are granted, or the request is granted. The jury will disregard the statement and the question asked for all of the reasons indicated by the stated also is a misstatement of the law.
No, I definitely object to that, Your Honor.
Your objection is
Okay.
noted. I'm going to have the jury stand for a second. They've been sitting for quite some time, and then you can formulate your next question.
I'll take exception to that ruling. And would like a legal finding of fact.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
And that's a judicial determination.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Be seated. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks. Please continue with your questioning.
He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to
Have
listen
you
to
ever
what I'm
had
saying.
any interactions with this entity, state of Wisconsin?
Come on. Cut him off.
Mr. Brooks, under 906.11, I'm not going to allow the witness to answer. It's vague.
There was no objection.
Under 906.11, I shall exercise reasonable control over the mode and order of interrogating witnesses. Please, next topic. These questions we addressed during the initial cross-examination of this witness.
They're going to keep coming up.
And I determined at that time that they weren't relevant. So next topic,
They're going to
please.
keep coming up.
Under 90611, sir, please move on to a new topic.
They're going to keep coming up.
For the cross-examination, I will
Cut him off.
end.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin president in courtroom today?
Objection, argumentative,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Sustained. Final warning, sir. Next topic or the cross-examination, I will
You
bring it to an end.
don't got to keep doing that, Your Honor. You don't got to keep doing that.
It's my responsibility, sir, over this trial.
I'm informed. And
Thank you.
And I
Next
respect
topic.
that,
Okay, move on.
but it's relevant for the jury to know the truth.
No.
They deserve to know the truth.
Move to strike, Your Honor.
Granted, the jury will disregard
Objection.
those last statements. They're
Objection
not
to that.
relevant. Mr. Brooks is not testifying. They misstate the law.
I object to that. That's not lawful law. It's
Noted.
not truthful.
All right, under 90611, I am now stopping the cross-examination. Any redirect by the state?
All right, we're gonna leave it here. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm gonna tell you a little story. The way that I do these videos is that I see the video. I watch it all. Like right now, we're doing it right now, and I comment on it. And then after, when I'm uploading and doing all that other stuff, I think of something that happened during the video, and that's how I named the video. But tomorrow's video, I already have the name of, and it's called The Meltdown. And you want to see that. So tune in back tomorrow. I'll see you guys. Give it a like if you made it this far. Have a great day. Bye-bye.